What if you decided to treat your entire life as one single radical experiment? Well, that's exactly what one of the 20th century's most incredible minds, Buckminster Fuller, actually did. Today, we're diving into what he called the Guinea Pig B protocol, his personal operating manual for making a real impact on the world. Our story starts not with his legendary success, but at his absolute lowest point. It's 1927. Buckminster Fuller is 32 years old, and he has hit rock bottom. I mean, his life just looked like a total string of failures. He'd been kicked out of Harvard twice. His business had just gone bankrupt, and he was dealing with some heavy personal tragedy. But right there, in that moment of complete despair, on the very brink of giving up, he made a choice that changed everything. He decided to turn his own life into a scientific experiment. He called it Guinea Pig B. And the hypothesis was just audacious. He asked, what could one broke, totally unknown person do for the good of all humanity? See, this wasn't about a career anymore. His entire existence from that point on was a mission, a scientific mission, with all of us as the beneficiary. In this, right here, is the absolute genius of his approach. The second he framed his life as an experiment, that paralyzing fear of failure, it just vanished. A mistake was no longer some deep personal flaw. It was just data. Every single setback became a lesson, and with every attempt, he just got smarter. So, okay, how does one person actually change the world? For Fuller, the answer wasn't about power or fame or money. No, it was about understanding a really powerful principle from engineering: leverage. Fuller was obsessed with this thing called a trim tab. You look at a massive ship, and there's this tiny little flap on the edge of the giant rudder. It seems completely insignificant, but here's the secret. That tiny little piece is what actually steers the entire vessel. He realized that an individual could be society's trim tab, a small but incredibly strategic force, capable of shifting the direction of these massive systems. Think about the physics here for a second. It's not about brute force, not at all. A tiny, precise movement on that little trim tab creates a low-pressure zone, a vacuum, that effortlessly pulls the larger rudder along with it. Fuller's takeaway from this was so profound. Don't just push against the system. Instead, find that one tiny, intelligent point of leverage that can pull the entire thing in a brand new direction. All right, let's move on to his next principle, which honestly is pretty counterintuitive. Fuller believed that fighting against the system was a complete and total waste of energy. He argued that when you fight the existing reality, all you're doing is giving it more energy and attention. You don't create lasting change by just protesting what's wrong. You do it by building something new, a new model so good, so compelling, that it just makes the old way obsolete. And this idea led to this really powerful distinction he made between weaponry, which are systems of conflict and destruction, and livingry, systems designed from the ground up to support and sustain all life. He decided right then and there to focus all of his energy not on fighting, but on creating. And you know what? He didn't just talk about it. He actually built stuff. Instead of just complaining about bad housing, he designed and built the geodesic dome. Instead of getting mad about how maps distort the world, he created the Dymaxion map. In every single case, he built a new model to prove that a better way wasn't just possible, it was practical. This entire approach, everything he did, was guided by this massive shift in perspective, seeing our world not as some infinite resource we can just use up, but as a very delicate, closed system. He actually coined the term Spaceship Earth to make this idea feel real. He wanted us to get it. We are all crew members on this single, beautiful vessel. We have limited supplies, a delicate life support system, and no instruction manual. His point was urgent. We need to stop acting like clueless passengers and start behaving like a responsible crew, a crew that's dedicated to keeping our ship afloat. And this idea, which he called ephemeralization, was the source of his incredible optimism. Now, that's a mouthful, I know, but the idea is actually pretty simple. It's the principle of doing more with less. He truly believed that through smarter design and better technology, we could provide for every single person on the planet while using fewer resources, and in doing so, secure the future of Spaceship Earth. But, having these grand ideas is one thing. Actually living by them requires incredible personal discipline. So to make sure his Guinea Pig B experiment stayed pure, Fuller developed his own operating manual, a set of 22 rules he lived by. This was his personal code. It was his internal compass, it kept his ego in check, and it made sure that the experiment, his life's work, always served humanity. You've got rules like, never mind what you think, listen, and never at the cost of others. These were the things that kept the mission pure. So, after a lifetime of applying these principles, we have to ask the big question. Did the experiment actually work?
Well, the data is just staggering. He got dozens of honorary degrees, wrote nearly 30 books, held 28 patents, and most famously, his geodesic domes have been built over 300,000 times all around the world. The experiment was, without a doubt, a resounding success. It proved that one person, acting as a trim tab for humanity, can have almost cosmic leverage.
In the end, Fuller's legacy isn't really about the domes or the maps. It's an operating manual, and it's an invitation. It's an invitation for each of us to find our own trim tab, to go out and build a new model, and to take our place as a responsible crew member on Spaceship Earth. And so the question he leaves for all of us is the one right here on your screen. What is the one Livingry solution that only you can build?